Hey, welcome. If you rewind just a few years, the big conversation around AI was all about this hunt for the one model, right? The one that could do everything. Well, here in 2026, that whole conversation is ancient history. The era of the generalist, it's over. We are officially in the age of the specialist.
So that really makes you wonder, what even is an AI today? Because it's definitely not some single, all-powerful thing we just chat with anymore. The answer is so much cooler, and honestly, a lot more powerful. Today, an AI is a film director, one that can create these stunning cinematic visuals. It's an expert coder that can literally grasp an entire software project in one go. And it's a roboticist, giving actual physical form to digital thought. See? It's not one thing, it's a whole team of specialists.
Okay, let's kick things off with the most visually dazzling specialists out there, the AI film crew. And trust me, these are not your simple video generators from a few years back. No. These are distinct creative powerhouses, and each one has its own unique directorial style.
So meet the four heavy hitters on the scene right now. Seedance 2.0 from ByteDance, Kling 3.0 from Kuaishou, of course OpenAI Sora 2, and Google's VO 3.1. I mean, yeah, they're all competing on things like cost and how long their clips can be, but what really, truly sets them apart are their key strengths. That's where the magic is.
First up, we've got Seedance 2.0, which I like to call the multimodal director. You got to think of this one as the ultimate production assistant. Its superpower, it can take direction from a crazy mix of sources. We're talking images, video clips, even audio files, and just seamlessly blend them into one coherent shot. It's an absolute dream for anyone looking to remix existing content or create those complex, layered ads.
Next in the lineup is Kling 3.0, the Motion Master. This one is all about fluid, natural-looking movement, which makes it the absolute go-to for social media creators where that dynamic action is everything. Plus, its motion brush feature gives you this incredible fine-tuned control. And get this, at about 50 cents a clip, it just delivers insane value. It's putting high-quality video creation in the hands of millions.
And then there's Sora 2. Honestly, this one is less of a director and more like a full-blown physics engine. Its entire specialty is just gut-punch realism. If you need a glass to shatter in a way that feels real or water to flow just perfectly, Sora 2 is in a league of its own. It even gets things like object permanence right, and this is wild. It generates fully synchronized audio and sound effects all in one go.
And rounding out our crew, we have VO 3.1, the true cinematographer of the group. This one was built for the pros, plain and simple. It generates everything at that cinema standard 24 frames per second, it has this unbelievably rich color science, and it has this amazing two-frame steering feature, which lets you basically define the start and end of a shot, and it just nails the transition perfectly.
All right, so we've gone from crafting digital worlds to actually building them. Let's shift gears and talk about our next specialist, the ultimate coding partner. This is where AI stops being just a creative tool and becomes a serious analytical powerhouse.
Look at this number. Over 1 million tokens. That is the context window for DeepSeek v4. Now, to put that into perspective, that's not just enough to understand a single file of code. Oh no, that is enough to understand an entire, massive, complex software repository, all at once. And that specialization is really the whole story here. Look, models like GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 are fantastic as generalists, but DeepSeek v4 is a pure coding specialist. It is designed from the ground up to be the absolute best-in-class for developers while also being radically cheaper. We're talking up to 95% cheaper, which just demolishes the barrier to entry and is going to supercharge innovation everywhere.
So how on earth does it do that? Well, the secret sauce is this revolutionary new architecture called Ngram conditional memory. Now, the key thing to get here is that this isn't about making the model bigger. It's about making it way smarter by changing how it thinks. Instead of trying to juggle everything in its working memory at once, it cleverly separates static facts from dynamic reasoning, making it incredibly efficient.
Let me just break it down for you real quick. When you give it a problem, instead of trying to remember every single thing it knows, it does something different. First, it does this super fast lookup for just the static facts it needs. Think of it like grabbing the definition of a function from a library. Then, with those facts right there, it dedicates all of its brain power to the hard part, actually reasoning through and solving your problem. It's just so much more efficient.
Okay, so we've seen AIs that can create and AIs that can code. The next logical frontier is taking these incredible digital minds and, well, giving them a real presence in our physical world. It's all about giving AI hands and eyes.
The whole thing starts with the brain. These powerful large language models that we've been talking about, with their amazing ability to reason and plan things out, they serve as the cognitive core, the mind, for this whole new generation of robots. But a brain isn't much use without a body to actually interact with the world, right? And that is exactly where these open-source toolboxes come into play. They are the critical bridge, the missing link between the LLM's commands and a robot's physical movements.
A fantastic example of this is a toolbox called Dexabotic. The easiest way to think about it is like a universal translator for robotics. It provides this standard framework that lets an LLM brain control a whole range of different robot bodies, everything from giant industrial arms to delicate little research models. It's the software that turns a digital plan into a real-world physical action.
So, we've looked at these incredible specialist AIs for video, for coding, for robotics. That's the micro view. But what happens when you zoom all the way out? When these powerful, accessible tools are everywhere, they create this massive economic ripple effect. So what is the big picture impact of this specialist revolution on the global economy? Well, don't just take my word for it. According to the International Monetary Fund's latest outlook from January of 2026, the impact is huge. They describe the global economy showing resilient growth, and they specifically call out technology and private sector adaptability as the key drivers that are pushing back against other economic challenges. And here it is, the headline number. The IMF is projecting 3.3% global economic growth for this year. And that's not just some random number, right? It's a direct reflection of the massive productivity and innovation gains being driven by the exact technologies we just talked about. This is the macro-level payoff of all that micro-level revolution.
So, as we start to wrap this up, it's pretty clear we're living in a totally new landscape of intelligence. The question isn't which AI is the best anymore. That's the old way of thinking. The new question is, which AI is the right one for this specific job?
Think about it. We have an AI cinematographer, a master coder, a roboticist. It's like we've assembled a full orchestra of incredible specialists. And that leaves us with one last massive question for the future. With an expert AI for every single instrument in the orchestra, who or what is going to be the conductor? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.